You're watching Iowa Live. Everything local, entertaining, and meaningful in Central Iowa is right here on Iowa Live.
From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, and it is that time once again to visit with attorney Kim Baer and find out about something that is going on that I'm sure a lot of you have paid attention to, because there's no way you can miss some of the ads that are on TV, Kim, talking about a certain lawsuit that is floating around out there.
Yes. I want to talk about the talcum powder, the baby powder litigation. And then I also want to talk about the cases regarding mesothelioma. That's a mouthful. Mesothelioma, which you hear about and you see the commercials. And I think it's really important for people to understand why you're seeing so many commercials and to pay attention, because a lot of us out there don't realize there might be a claim, maybe for you or a family member.
Okay, let's talk first about the baby powder situation that is out there, because it's still out there, isn't it?
It is. A lot of us that are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and older grew up with, you take a bath or a shower and then you put baby powder all over you.
Absolutely, yes.
And so unfortunately, that baby powder has some asbestos in it. Back then, virtually everything had asbestos in it.
And the key phrase is back then.
Back then, yes. And so there are studies that show that there is a link between using this talcum powder and ovarian cancer. So these claims have been out there for a while. A lot of them were on hold because Johnson & Johnson had filed bankruptcy or tried to file bankruptcy. There was a stay with regard to some of the cases. The cases now are back up and running. We just had 2 cases filed recently.
Okay.
So the point here is, if you know someone in your family or you have a friend who has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, you need to ask them, during your life or your childhood, did you use any brand of talcum powder?
Okay, so that's the cases we're talking about.
That's the cases we're talking about.
Okay.
And if so, then you might want to call an attorney just to see whether or not you have a claim. My recollection is that at one point, Johnson & Johnson, I believe, had set aside, I think it was $9 billion. Billion, yeah, $9 billion to try to settle those cases. And then everything kind of got put on hold, and now they're coming back to
Now, when you file for this, how long do you have
So that's
make
a good
claim?
question, because a lot of times people feel like, okay, gosh, it's been so long, or I was diagnosed a while ago. So it's 2 years from the diagnosis, or 2 years from when you knew or should have known that you have a claim.
Okay.
So, and I want to be clear, it's not just Johnson & Johnson. There are lots of other, there's Shower to Shower. There's all sorts of baby powder companies out there.
Okay.
Some of them have settled, some of them haven't. And so it's worth looking into the claim and talking to a lawyer.
Okay.
So.
Now, what about the other one? Is it mesothelioma?
Yeah. Some people pronounce it mesothelioma.
Okay.
Yes. So with regard to, we can just call it meso for short.
Okay.
So with regard to meso, those cases are really sad cases. We get calls from people who have been diagnosed. Typically, there's not a cure. What is it? What it is you have breathed in asbestos or ingested asbestos, and it has formed a tumor in your lung or sometimes in your abdomen. It's different from a normal lung cancer. It requires a special test to diagnose it. That also has, it had $30 billion. There was a $30 billion trust that was set aside to take care of these claims. And so these are claims also that we still have a lot of people being diagnosed because the latency period of the tumor to develop can be 20, 30, 40 years.
Okay. So you'll be in your 50s or 60s or
70s
when you realize you may have this.
Yeah, and it's people who were in the service, people who worked on brake pads, people who worked in really anywhere where there might have been asbestos.
Like the shipping industry?
The shipping industry.
Okay.
There are lots of industries. Yeah. I think 30% of the claims are from people who were in the service.
Okay.
So
yeah, this is something that's very, very serious. And what is the turnaround time for that? Is it after you get diagnosed? Is that the deal
again,
too?
if you have been diagnosed, then you need to call an attorney to talk to them. You know, it's a 2-year statute of limitations. But I always tell people, don't be deterred by the statute of limitations. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you need to call an attorney. You just do, because it's a serious diagnosis, and there's money out there that I think could help you and your family.
Okay, so what if they wanted to call an attorney who just so happened to be named Kim Baer? What would they do? How would they get a hold of you to get the process started?
Right. Well, we're always happy to help. You can give us a call at 515-279-2000. You need to know that for these cases, these are taken on contingency fee, which means you're not going to pay a lawyer any money unless money is recovered. So there's really no risk to you into making a call and just checking it out.
Okay, so it's 515-279-2000
or 515-INJURED if that's easier to remember.
Okay, BaerLawOffice.com as well. Great information as always, Kim. Thank you so much.
Always happy to help.
We are just 2 weeks away from one of the biggest events in Des Moines. We're talking about the Principal Charity Classic. All the details coming up next.